All right, so Three Ninjas Podcast, Domino, Hes Jones, Bobby, and we got a special guest in the dojo today. This is one of them people I feel like if you're in the anime space, the manga space, even if just in the creator space, this is one of them names you need to know. Now, in the dojo today, we have artist and designer of Namiwear and also creator of Soul Search manga and TENPINZ manga. Also, aspiring voice actor. He do a little bit of everything. We're going to try to, tap into his mind a little bit, see what he got going on. Just an all-around creative. Ladies and gentlemen, in the dojo today, we have Dominic Jiminez.
What's up, guys? Glad to be here.
How are you, man? How's your day going?
I'm good, man. Just working.
Just working, man?
It's working.
Sound like Sunday caught up to you, man. Everybody a little tired, everybody a little fatigued.
Yeah.
What's up with you, man? What's been going on? What's the latest that's going on with Mr. Jiminez? We got Namiwear coming to an end? Question mark. Quote unquote.
Yeah. So I just kind of ended the clothing side of my business as far as like making anime inspired stuff that's based on other properties that I don't own. So I could fully focus on making my own merch with my own ideas and really building this into a full like anime manga company instead of just like, oh, we have a couple books that we're trying to push out. So really making that like the main goal and pushing it, man, trying to get to these meetings, to these companies and see if we can get some things moving.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, was that a hard decision to come to where it was like, hey, I love these properties so much, but I got to work on me. I can't be making money for everybody else.
It was kind of hard to like let it go. Like it took me a long time to actually do it. I've been saying I want to do it, but once the book took off, I was like, all right, I guess this is the perfect time to try to do it. So let me go for it.
Okay. Now, when did the idea to create? Well, first you started off with Soul Search, right? That was the beginning of like your author journey.
Yeah, like my own ideas. Like I've always drawn books and stuff like that for myself. Like growing up, I would make my own version of Pokemon, my own version of Dragon Ball Z, put myself in those worlds and stuff like that. But this was my first like idea that I came up with and actually like put out. Like I've done a lot of other ones, but never really put them out there.
Were they not good? You weren't confident in them? It was just like a one-off thing, or
I don't know if they were good or not.
Right.
I felt the same about these. Like I just happened to put these ones out and people are like, yeah, I like it. So
All right, so you being the author of Soul Search then leads you into TENPINZ. Now, are you an avid bowler, or you just saw like it was just a blank space in the shonen where it was like, hey, I don't see any bowling mangas?
Actually both. So I used to bowl when I was younger. I was really, really good. Like a lot of state, for sure. A lot of state championship like trophies, ribbons. I was traveling and I only bowled 1 year. That was the first year I ever bowled.
So one and done.
One and done. Like, yo, I'm gonna go do something I'm not that good at.
Yeah, I was definitely on track. And I don't know why. I thought I could play professional basketball, so I focused all my attention on basketball.
Yeah, once you're a natural at one thing, you feel like you can do everything.
I was good. I'm good at basketball. I'm just not anywhere near NBA caliber. Yeah.
Yeah, everything has to line up. You got to have the height, the coordination, the skill. Everything has to line up. Like if you 5'4", but you nice as hell, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
My man, you saw Space Jam? Little short.
Now, hearing all that, you got an interesting story thus far because you write, you design, you bowl apparently. So now, What was your younger year? Matter of fact, let's start from the beginning if we can. Where are you from?
I am a military kid, so I'm from everywhere. Yeah. But I
Queens,
grew up,
New York, Harlem,
I
uptown,
grew up
downtown, Switzerland.
mostly, yeah, I grew up mostly in Pennsylvania. I was there for the longest. So
Mhm.
like an hour between Philly and Baltimore. I got family in Baltimore. I got family in California.
Mhm.
So I'm all over the place.
All right. So now was that hard for you growing up? Because everything I hear about military kids is that it's hard to make friends every
Oh
time you
yeah.
get situated in one place. You up and got to go somewhere else. You moving not even nationally, just internationally at a moment's
Yeah.
notice.
It definitely sucks when you're kind of starting to, find your place and then you have to start all the way over. But I think that's kind of given me an advantage just in regular life. Like I know so much different stuff. Like I've been a lot of different places, and it's crazy because a lot of those people that I met when I was younger, I have contact with again now because of social media. So I have friends in like different parts of the world that I grew up with.
Okay. Now, did y'all have like a commonality of the love of anime, or is just like, hey, I remember you from the third grade and then you moved away?
I didn't really have like a lot of anime friends growing up. I had a lot more sports friends. So like
Okay.
basketball, soccer, bowling, like that type of stuff. But not I mean, we played like Pokemon and people would draw Goku in school, stuff like that, but I wasn't super deep into it yet.
Okay. Now, when did you get deep into the anime craze? Because I want to say for us, it was like, might have been like around like 10, 11, 12, something like that.
Yeah.
I was heavy in Pokemon. Pokemon was my thing. Like I had the games, I had the cards, watched the show. But I think the first real anime that I started watching was Dragon Ball Z. That was probably like 11, 12.
Okay. Now, very important question, right? You walk into Professor Oak's lab, 3 Pokeballs on the table. Who's your starter?
It
Squirtle,
could be
Charmander.
okay.
No, we're talking about
The original. Gotcha.
Original 151. Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle?
I'm probably gonna go Squirtle.
Gang, gang.
I always pick water starters.
Gang, gang.
Now, did you play the newest Pokemon?
I haven't really had time. I played a little bit of it, but I haven't had time like I want to.
Okay, so I can't really ask you how you felt about the water starter in that one.
Yeah, I didn't even get a badge in that one. I played for like 10 minutes.
Damn.
Yeah.
10 minutes is just putting in your name in the intro.
Yeah. I didn't get anywhere.
I walked out my house and turned it off.
Yeah. I got businesses to run. I ain't got time to be playing Pokemon.
All right, I'm done.
Yeah, right. Now, so you said that the first anime that you really got into was Dragon Ball. Now, was it a thing that was, I guess, known around your classroom? Like you had a lot of people in your classroom that like anime, or did you have to like keep that close knit to the chest?
There were like a lot of I feel like there was a lot of people that liked anime. I remember like because I wasn't into Yu-Gi-Oh until like a little bit later down the road, but I remember people in there like dueling at lunch and stuff like that. So they were openly like it was going crazy in there. They were fighting over cards and stuff. So yeah, it was they were openly like talking about their anime, and I was like, all right, no.
Now, no one faced any like backlash or bullying or anything like that. I'm pretty sure they did, as kids, because kids are evil.
I mean, from what I seen, they were really just fighting each other.
It's the Civil War.
Nah,
I didn't see anybody like going to mess with them because they were doing whatever, but they would fight each other like, "Oh, he stole my car!"
my card. Yeah.
People scamming, being real life like villains and stuff. Yeah,
That's a fact. I witnessed that.
I got
as
the
well.
trap card. Ah.
Exactly. I used to do that because if they had a rare card that you didn't have, they would like try to finesse it out of you. Like they would try to do something like
Here's
Ultra
50.
Gears, this and that. Yo,
Here's 50 normal cards for that holographic.
exactly.
Yo, didn't Exodia come in like 6 cars or something like that?
5.
Yeah, 5
Five?
cards. Yeah.
So what was it? Head, arm, leg, or some shit like that?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, when did you get, I guess, into design? Like, do you have a background in like clothing design or anything like that?
Yeah, I went to art school. I have a degree in graphic design and I have a master's in business. But I went to art school first and I started really, really young, like drawing on clothes, drawing on other clothes for other people. Like people were paying me to draw like on their shirts and stuff like that. So
Was you the airbrush guy?
I wasn't really doing airbrush because I didn't know how. I was just doing like fabric markers and stuff like that. But if you remember like the ginormous like cartoon t-shirts like back in the day, like I was
Like Bugs
drawing
Bunny and stuff like
I
that.
was drawing stuff like that, like custom stuff for people. So I was been doing that since I was like 13. I think I started in like 9th grade.
Okay. Now, did you know that you wanted to actually get into making your own clothes, or was it just like a fun hobby because you just knew how to draw and you were good at it?
I really liked making my own clothes, and that's kind of what led me to go to art school. Like starting off with that, I was like, all right, like I'm drawing people's stuff, but I'm starting to draw like my own designs and like start making stuff for myself to wear. And that pushed me into like kind of exploring like streetwear a little bit more. And eventually like going to art school for a graphic design program so I could actually learn how to do all the stuff I wanted to do.
Okay. Now, when did you, I guess, make it into an actual business? Like, hey, I'm tired of just sketching. And like, when did you make your first actual piece that you wore proudly? Like, hey, I made this.
I mean, I was making clothes when I was like in 9th grade. Like I didn't have like a brand name or anything, but I was just making my stuff. But once I graduated high school, I did start my first like clothing business. And it was called Mimic Clothing.
Clothing, okay.
So my logo was the letter M, like facing down like this, and then I flipped it up so it mirrored each other, and that was my logo. And I would take that and I would just like put pop culture stuff like references with the logo, but make it into that logo shape. So Johnny Cupcakes was like probably my biggest inspiration for that. And that's the first brand that I started, and I did that for about 5-6 years.
Okay. Now, what was the return on that? How much money did you make, or did you make any money? Were you in the red a lot, or?
It was just learning. It wasn't really about money for me. It was just doing it and kind of like experimenting. Like I had people that are ordering stuff all the time. And there's still people that followed me from like that to Namiwear that know me. Like it's like, oh shit, that's Mimic. It's like, nah, now people are like, oh shit, that's Nami. But it's the same thing for me. I think it just taught me a lot of the process, kind of like how Namiwear taught me a lot of the process. So when I do something else, I kind of know like the things to avoid and how to do it a little bit better.
Okay. Now, when Namiwear first hit the scene, I kind of want to say it took the anime world by storm a little bit, because we were tired of like, you know, the button-up shirts with the characters on them and stuff like that. Like, and then when you came around and started actually making clothing that was referencing and actually looked good of the animes that we watch, I feel like everyone gravitated to it really, really quickly.
Yeah, it had a really strong start. Especially being like it was the first anime streetwear like brand, like not a brand that just like decided I want to do a couple anime pieces, but like fully focused on anime streetwear and making like higher end pieces that you could wear.
Right.
Like you would see kids going outside in their Akatsuki cloaks and getting clowned and stuff, but you could find somebody to make something that you would actually wear outside and not get laughed at for.
Right.
And that was kind of the goal.
Now, was that your focus from the beginning? I just want to make this a straight streetwear brand, or were you just creating, just doing you, and then it just happened to snowball into that?
So Namiwear was like purposeful. Like I planned all of that out. I knew like this is what I want to do. I wanted to be anime inspired. I wanted to make the best like anime inspired streetwear. And at the time there's nothing like it. Everyone was making kind of like the same like you said, like the button ups with the characters on it, or like no shade to Primitive, but like Dragon Ball Z, like, you know what I mean? Like the characters, and then you got like the brand name like down the shirt.
Yeah.
So there wasn't really a lot of variety.
Mm-hmm. Now, when Namiwear dropped, who was your first, I guess, well-known or big client that kind of like backed you and wore your stuff outside?
My first big, I got in touch with a lot of people. I think T-Pain was probably one of the first people to wear my stuff.
Mm.
T-Pain, Jeremy,
crazy flex.
Jeremy Lin.
T-Pain like it was nothing.
Jeremy Lin, Meg Thee Stallion.
I remember that Meg shirt went crazy.
I think what really like kind of took it off for me was I was working as a freelance artist, and I ended up doing a movie campaign with Jordan Peele, but I had my sample on. So I have like a bunch of photos of me in my sample with Jordan Peele. And he's like a big anime fan too. But people seen that and are like, yo, what is he wearing? Like, oh shit, you were Jordan Peele? And that way I was able to kind of like bridge those two things together. But I think probably my biggest, I have like a lot of like influencer friends that wear stuff, but I think my biggest celebrity like online is probably Bella Porch. I think she's got like 1 billion on TikTok now. Some crazy ass number. She's like the biggest TikToker, and then she decided to do music, but she wore all my stuff with no like delay. Like I sent it to her and she put all of my stuff on and took pictures and sent me pictures. I was like, nobody's doing this.
Right.
I was like, nobody has this type of access to people, and they're not willingly like putting on their brand. With no like incentive behind it, where it's like, hey, I'm paying you to actually put this on. It's like, no, just for the love of it. I like it. It's dope. I'm going to put it on and wear it. Exactly. I was like, nobody's getting this type of promotion.
Now, where does your business acumen come from? Because knowing what you want to do so young, and then progressing to where you are now, where it's, you know, you with Jordan Peele, your clothes are being worn by this person and that person. You know, you're a published author now. Like, where does this business acumen come from? Does it have anything to do with your parents in the military? Does it have to, like, what did you see that made you like this?
I don't know if I don't know. I don't really know if I've seen anything that made me like want to do this. My dad, he was in the military, and he worked as a recruiter for, I want to say like 6, 7 years, but like hearing him like pitch kids the military, like making kids kind of join the military and really selling it, I think kind of gave me a little bit of that like salesman. Like when I do trade shows, I kind of think about those times as like, oh yeah, I'm kind of like doing the same thing he was doing, but but for my own thing.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Now, why did you never join the Army? Did you see it firsthand and be like, nah, I'm not part of this?
Oh, I wanted to. I could never gain the weight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're like, you're too tall. You got to gain a certain amount of weight. I was like, I'm trying, man.
Really?
It just ain't working.
Then they got to carry around packs and run and do all that kind of stuff. I think.
Yeah.
A certain level.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have,
doing
you
like
have to
10-mile runs.
I didn't know that was a weight requirement. I just thought like, hey, if you got the tenacity and you can actually do it, you can do it.
Yeah, they wanted me, like I took the test and everything, like I scored high, but I was like, I just can't physically get there.
Right. Now, what do your parents think about your career path?
They always send me job applications for real jobs. Every day. Oh, so and so is hiring. It's like, okay.
So have you do they know who T-Pain is? Have they seen like the picture with you and Jordan Peele? Like they know who like celebs are and what TV is, right?
Yeah, they do.
So do they think like so another question, right? Now your dad was in the military, right?
Yeah.
All right. So does your dad not think that art is a viable career, or does he think it's like some hobby you can have? Like you're obviously making money, you're doing well for yourself. Like I said, you have all these ventures going on. Pretty much anyone that's in the nerd space, geek space, anime space knows about you. What's not to support?
I think people see they see like the success, but they don't see like all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of like struggle. It's a lot of pain, and I try to be as honest as I can about the process, like online. People kind of take it the wrong way sometimes, but I try to be as honest as I possibly can. It's not like it's nowhere near easy, especially when you're doing like your own ideas. Like it feels almost impossible. So to make any type of like, you know, ground and actually build something up from nothing it takes a lot of work. And I think they really just look for me to have a more comfortable life and not one filled with so much like stress. Because me doing the book thing is like, yeah, I made this, like it's great. It went #1. That's great.
Yeah, I like that's the thing that bothers me a little bit. So you're #1 on was it sports manga on Amazon and number 15 in mangas all around.
I was #1 in all shonen.
Yo, this motherfucker keep dropping flexes, yo.
Yeah, I was #1 over My Hero Academia.
Talk your shit. I'm proud of you. Yeah,
I screenshot it and even made it a t-shirt.
TENPINZ jumped over the jump man. That's what's going on.
Yeah, over the jump man. Now, do you and your parents have a good relationship?
No.
Yeah. It's kind of
Maybe.
Okay. They just see how much I actually go through, and I know it's hard for them to like kind of watch sometimes. It's like because I'll have like a lot of opportunity, and it's like, oh, like what happened to this opportunity? Like somebody drops out or somebody flakes, and I'm like, that's just the nature of the business. Like I know like things are gonna come and go, and they're just like, why can't people just keep their word? And it's not as, you know, black and white as they think it should be. It's like, well, you're #1. How come you don't have like blah 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 going on? It's like, I don't know. It takes more, I guess.
Right.
So you think
it seems like way too often that the parents that aren't creatives don't understand their creative child, and what it comes from is I just want my child to be stable and not have to struggle. And I know you want to chase your dream or do whatever. I just don't want you to have to go through the hurdles that you may have to go through.
Yeah.
And I just want you to live easy. Like you get paid every 2 weeks, 401k, retirement plan, cool. Like, that's not what I want to do.
Yeah. Try to tell them.
Just all that uncertainty probably makes them uncomfortable, right? Like,
yeah.
what happens this week might not happen next week, and then I think maybe that's what bothers some parents. I think you hear that a lot with people, with parents who have kids who do things that are like creative in nature. It's just like, yeah, today is one thing, next week is another thing, and I think it just makes them, because as a parent, you just want your kids to be okay, right? And I think that's probably where a lot of that comes from.
Just makes them anxious.
Yeah.
And they always want the best for their child. So
yeah.
Now, are you happy?
I'm about to be happy. you put your happiness to the side for a little bit when you're trying to like make things happen. I sacrifice a lot to like kind of get things where they're going. And that's the part that people don't see. Like I knew for sure that I could get a #1 best-selling book. I just had to be willing to sacrifice whatever amount of money that meant. So I uploaded it at the cheapest option I possibly could. And I told people my goal is to get a New York Times best-selling book. And in that 2-3 days, the very first days I put it on Amazon, that's when it shot to #1. And I sold over 1,000 copies in a month. And I got $1 for each copy sold. $1.
Are those the normal splits for Amazon books, or?
So because I listed it at the lowest possible.
Yeah, okay.
Got you.
So I did it to claim the #1 spot. But the #1 spot now lets me sell my books at regular price and open the door for Viz Media and all the other companies that are looking like, who the heck is this person that just that just beat all of our stuff?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of like, are you willing to sacrifice like money? Are you willing to sacrifice your time? Are you willing to sacrifice money to kind of get things where you wanted to go?
So clearly you're not dumb. You know what you're doing. You have a master's. Now, when you say sacrifices, it's not just financial. Like, what do you give up, I guess, like on a day-to-day? Is it like mental? Is it, hanging out? Is it relationships? Like, what is it?
Everything. I sacrificed everything to make this work.
Now, is there a point where, because you seem like a driven guy, you know what you want, you do it, you don't let anything stop you, and I've just been talking to you for maybe less than a half hour. Now, is there a point where you have to force yourself to stop, or someone forces you to stop? Like, hey, Dom, just chill out for a second, go on vacation, enjoy yourself, enjoy your money, get some, free up some mental space, something. Like, who do you talk to? Like, how do you unwind?
I don't really like take breaks.
Bro, you got to.
unless I like am completely burnt out. Like I'll probably take like a couple of days off, but even when I try to like go to sleep, like my brain is literally turning. It's like, okay, like I can wake up, I gotta do this, or I should spend time doing this right now. Like I feel like every second I'm thinking of something else I need to be doing. And even right now, like I'm on this interview with you guys, I have my iPad in front of me. Like I'm looking at entering this manga contest. Like there's a lot of things that kind of go into making sure it's a success, especially when you're by yourself. Like there are people who want to help me, but it's like I don't know if the help is the exact help that I need, and I would rather just do it myself.
Now, you sound just like me. I'm telling you from experience, you can't. Now, you've been successful so far, but the takeaway from it is that, like you said, you're going to get burnt out, but you're going to get burnt out to the point of like, I don't want to do none of this shit no more. Like, I'll leave all this shit, at the drop of a hat. Like, it's not worth my life or my mental health, my physical health, just anything. Now, do you just not trust anyone with your ideas? You don't think they're gonna get them, or like are these just very close to you? Like these my babies. I can't let nobody near my babies.
I definitely don't trust anybody with my ideas. Never doing that. Um, but it is part of the reason why I ended Namiwear like as a brand, because like you said, like it got to a point where I was burnt out, like physically. It's like, yo, I can't even like get up to do this. I just packed like over 100 packages just yesterday. I'm like, I'm so glad this is coming to an end.
Right.
I want to be done so bad.
Because you package and ship everything yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Bro, that's a lot.
Everything.
Yeah.
I think last year my summary came back. It said I shipped out somewhere around 10 tons.
10 tons of material.
Yeah. In a year.
Yeah.
Bro.
In a slow year. The year before that was worse.
Slow year.
Word.
Yeah. In a slow year.
Oh man. Why don't you? Because the reason why I don't trust nobody with a lot of my ideas before is because I'm scared of getting let down. I'm scared of giving somebody control of my ideas, and it's a bunch of reasons, like them not executing the way I want to execute it, or just like fear of theft or copycats or whatever, or just the fact that I don't think you into it the way I'm into it. But why don't you have a team? If you're doing everything solo, you're designing the stuff, you're packaging the stuff, you got the final say on everything, you just, like, what happens? Like, why don't you trust anyone?
I just don't believe anybody's going to put in the effort that I'm going to put in
on Earth. There's like 8 billion people on Earth, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody.
I don't think it's something that I can ask of anybody. Like the amount of effort that I put into my own work. Like I wouldn't ask anybody to do that. I hope you do it for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, as someone who's tried to do a lot of things by themselves and while working a 9-to-5 job and trying to maintain relationships with kids, girlfriend, parents, friends, whatever the fuck, it's not easy. I wouldn't suggest that for anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of just been doing it so long. I've just gotten used to it, and it's just habit. And the one time that I did try to let somebody help me, they stole all my money.
See, that's what we get into, man. What happened? I'm sorry that happened to you.
I was like, you know what? Maybe I finally found somebody that's worth like, letting help me like do this thing, and all of a sudden they just switch up. Like Namiwear is supposed to be like the biggest. It was on track to do easily $1 million a year by year 5, and we were on year 4 this year. Once I let go of the ex-partner that like stole everything, I had to start from scratch. I started with $0 to my name. All I had was ideas. And I was like, all right, let's see if I could like kind of scale up with just ideas again. I dropped a couple of like hats. I think it was the bleach bucket hat that I dropped, and like my one piece stuff. And that started like going back up, and I was able to kind of start crawling out the hole a little bit. But with my partner, I think the best year that we had was probably like $165,000. And once I cut him off, I did 350,000 by myself. And I had to, out of that 350, I had to pay like 200 for the money that he cost me.
Damn.
So it's really been me working backwards and trying to like catch back up to that debt, because that's like a whole year's worth of revenue and then you're taken away from like any future like growth. So I could have had a team. I could have had some people packing. I could have had a warehouse space, but I was so far in the hole. I had to like kind of build it back up.
I got so many questions.
All right. Do you ever get creative fatigue?
I don't think so.
Not even when you're drawing?
A lot of people ask me like, what do you do when you get like a creative block? I was like, I don't know if I've actually ever had one because I'm always doing something. Like if I don't have one thing working, I'm kind of like working on something else.
Okay, that's different. Yeah, that's different. That's a break.
Yeah.
You go to therapy?
I went to therapy for a little bit. I find my therapy in just being outside now.
Okay, touching grass.
I go hike. I go by like I found this lake out here. I go by the water and just reflect on things. That's as good as it's probably going to get for me.
Now, because of everything that's happened behind the scenes with, you know, your partners and whatever else that may have happened, are you creating out of like a sense of desperation now, or is it still fun?
I think it's like in the middle.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm creating out of desperation. I don't think like if I'm desperate, I'm not doing anything.
But not desperation per se, but it's like these brands or these ideas are how I feed myself, and if I don't create, I don't eat. But before it used to be, oh, like this is fun. Like I'm creating stuff, I'm making money, people love it, I love it, I'm meeting people. It's like, yeah, but sandwich somewhere in the middle is
it's like it does this does pay my bills for sure. That's why I also push it like even harder than everything else that's kind of going on, because I know like all I need is one store to pick it up, one book order from somebody, like a deal from any of these companies, and then I could relax. I'm like, all right, you know, like it could go on autopilot for a little bit and I'll focus on the next thing. But right now it's 100%. Whatever effort I put in is whatever I get out.
Got you. Now, in all of this, where do you find time for voice acting?
I've been slacking on that.
Now, is that an actual passion of yours, or is it something that I guess you fell into, or what's the story behind that?
It's a little bit of both. I think I'm kind of just falling into it a little more now. I work with Chuck Huber. He's the voice of Hiei from Yu Hakusho. But he kind of works as my mentor for voice acting. And before I even like got to meet him, I had already gotten a paid role. Like I did like some YouTube narration for like some weird like hip hop channel. I never even seen the video, but I got paid for it. So
word.
I got my money, I'm good.
Yeah, I got paid for it. So I was like, you know, I guess I could say I'm a voice actor. I got a paid role. And I talked to him. He's like, you got a paid role in how long? I was like, I've only been doing it a couple months. He's like, he said it took me almost a year to get like a paid job. So you're probably like on the right track. And a lot of the people that I know are voice actors. So it kind of is pushing me into that a little bit. Like, so you're going to voice act your character, right? I was like, I mean, y'all keep asking me. I'm probably going to have to.
Even more work. I get to write the lines and voice act it.
Oh yeah.
Now, where does your writing background come from? Is that something you just picked up from watching animes and stuff like that, or?
I don't know if I really have a writing background. As far as like, yeah, I guess as far as storytelling, I don't really write too much. I do like a lot of concept stuff. But my author Abraham for TENPINZ, he actually was working with my former partner and got let go because he was working with me.
Mhm.
And then his friend also worked there, and he got let go for working with me on Soul Search. So we've kind of just like started bouncing ideas off of each other. But TENPINZ, I came up with probably in a day. I was just like, I think I was watching like Haruko no Basket. I was like, man, I want to make something like this good one day. And I don't know what clicked, but I was like, I want to do a bowling anime, and I want it to be like the best fucking sports project ever. And I knew picking bowling and making the characters black was already going to be a challenge, and people were going to look at it with so much like disgust and hate and just so many like preconceived like notions, like boring's like, it's bowling, it's boring. It's like, I'm making the thing that you think is boring the number one best-selling shonen right now.
Shit.
Like, I'm taking the things that absolutely nobody cared for and making it the best. And I like that challenge. I always like kind of building things up from scratch.
Right. And you did this completely by yourself. You were sober when you thought of this?
Yeah, I don't really I don't partake in
The devil's lettuce.
and in sometimes, sometimes.
That's amazing. Just to think of someone or women like, yo, I created that in a day, and then now it's a best-selling.
Bestseller.
It's what. Now I want to ask this question, and don't take offense to it, please. Hopefully you don't. Have you been diagnosed with any condition or anything like that with all these ideas and how hyper-focused you are and how great these ideas are? Like, have you been diagnosed with anything?
I've never been diagnosed with anything. I definitely feel like I'm probably bipolar. I'm not going to say that. I don't know if I'm bipolar or people are just annoying.
People are just annoying.
People are just annoying.
Nah, people are just annoying.
Hatch, don't start, man.
I'm sorry.
Nah, like I get a lot of people that ask me stuff like that, because like, how did you do? Because it's not only like TENPINZ is number one, but Soul Search sells like almost the same when I'm at conventions. They sell like back to back. It's like, how did you make two of these in such a short amount of time? It's like, I don't really know. I kind of just had the idea and did it. And I have more ideas that I want to do.
Stephen King without the drugs.
What it sounded like to me.
Right in front of me in the bag.
I've been getting Todd McFarlane a lot.
Todd McFarlane?
The creator of Spawn.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, he's a little weird.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Now, we have voice acting, design work, artwork. We have, I guess, concept ideas. We have do you still have Namiwear Records?
Yeah, we still make music.
Still make music.
I opened up for Meek Mill's Dreams and Nightmares tour back in, what year was that? Like 2011? Opened up for Meek. I used to like tour and do like my own like shows like for music.
My nigga, who are you? Like, what's up with you?
I just do a lot of things.
Like, you don't slow down. You don't, like, once you have an idea, you just do it, and then it just happens. I don't.
Yeah.
It explains why you don't get bored.
Yeah.
Like, you're jumping from project to project. You're always doing something. It's not like you're stuck with one thing. You're just like, I'm tired of this. Like, let me go and make some music now.
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, I don't have enough hours in a day, and I don't have enough energy to do all the things that I want to do.
How long do you sleep?
Probably like 4 or 5 hours.
Damn, like me. Just like me.
Hours, I knew it.
Just like me.
Yeah. Like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Now, is that purposeful? just so you can get more done and get more ideas out, or is it like your brain is just moving so much that you just literally can't sleep?
It's probably just moving too much. Like, especially, I feel like I don't really wake up until like 10 p.m. So from like 10 to 3 a.m. I'm working,
moving,
and I have like my best ideas like
at night,
in the middle of the night.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
Is it just because it's quieter, so there's less to distract you, or?
Yeah, there's nothing that really can get my attention during that time. I kind of just focus on whatever I'm doing. Like when I was doing music, like I was doing music, like releasing my own projects and stuff. I got kind of bored of that. I was like, all right, did it already. I opened up for Meek Mill in my hometown. Like, I already proved my point. So let me do something else. So I started just like songwriting, and I did a reference track for Beyonce. And she hasn't used it. And I wrote this like 6 years ago. But the girl who like redid the reference track for me, she works with Beyonce, SZA, Solange, Doja Cat, Cardi B, and she won Grammys. It's like I could have definitely kept going and kept doing that.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just get bored and I move on to the next thing because I don't know. I try to reach like a goal. It's like I wrote a song for Beyonce. I don't think I can get any better than that.
Who is this nigga? So, do you ever think there will be a day where I guess you calm down? Like, if you had to choose one thing, if you can, just one thing that you want to do for the rest of your life, like, hey, I did XYZ. If I could just do this for the rest of my life, I'll be fine. Is there one thing that you would just do for the rest of your life and just be cool with it?
It's probably this.
Probably just design or
just art.
Just art. Okay. So no podcasting in your future, no more HMO3 podcast?
I wanted to do a podcast. I just didn't have the time. I didn't have the time to really like put my thoughts together to where somebody would want to listen and not it just be like me rambling for an hour. That's the same thing with like content creation. It's like I don't really put out a lot of content that's like polished. I just all of my stuff is really my rough drafts. Is like hopefully somebody gets what I mean out of this.
The concept of what I was trying to do.
That motherfucker says I turn the camera on first take, whatever come out.
Yeah. So I don't have time to like write a script.
I ain't got time to fine tune. I ain't got time to edit. I ain't got time to say this word correctly. Nah, you gonna get this.
Yeah, I'm not rehearsing. I'm just gonna put it out.
That's commendable because I feel like my mind wouldn't let me do that. What else is there for you to try? Like, what else do you want to do? Even outside of the nerd space, what else is there?
I definitely want to I want to do another fashion brand. I think I want to do like one shot at like really high fashion, like runway type stuff. I want to design a Nike. That's always been something I've wanted to do. I don't know. I'm really leaning towards just like being an artist for the rest of my life, but starting to kind of go into that little like solitude pocket. Like I'm here, I live on a mountain in a cabin somewhere,
right? And just enjoy life away.
Y'all get to see me once a year, and
you're just gonna pop out, do something magnificent. Hey, y'all, I'm alive. Just go back into your cave.
Yeah, like really being in nature and painting. Like I went and got canvases and stuff this week so I could get back into painting. Like all the new Namiwear stuff, like all the new stuff I'm doing is gonna be kind of a collection of all the stuff that I know how to do. Like I'm gonna paint, I'm gonna draw, I'm gonna make music, merch, the books, animation, everything.
Now, is there talks to make Tenpin into an actual anime?
Oh yeah. So I have a deal for an animated series for Soul Search and TENPINZ. I had that since last year.
Congrats, man.
For a season of both. But it's through like one of my mentors, like he's building out like a platform right now. But he's like, hey man, if nobody picks it up, I'm for sure gonna give you the money to do both of these. Like we'll get our own animation team, we'll make our own studio, I'll get both of these done. So he's in the process of doing that, and that's my backup if I don't get picked up by like a big company. I could just make it myself.
Right. Now with Soul Search and TENPINZ, how are you able to, I mean, you touched on you not, I guess, working with other people or trusting other people. So how do you trust the art direction with, Abraham and Avery? No, not Avery. What's the other guy on Soul Search?
Oh yeah, that's Avery.
That's Avery too? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Abraham and Avery, yeah. So with them, I trust their judgment because they both work as professional writers. Like Abraham, he works in Hollywood, like he writes, he works on sets, like he's done a lot of stuff in Hollywood already. And he actually has experience like pitching, like he's done pitches, all the stuff for my former partner, like any deals that they had on the table, he pitched. So I for sure know like we're gonna get a deal because we actually have books and we actually have customers and things like that. But they know like I want to tell my story, and we just bounce ideas back and forth and kind of tweak it, because at the end of the day it's still going to be like whatever I decide. But I'm more flexible with them because I know that they're going to put like their best effort forward, like trying to make the book, because it's their name on it too. Like it reflects on them, so they want to make it good too. So things like that, I'm able to like kind of be flexible. But I have a lot of people that ask me like, we should collab. I was like, I don't want to collab ever. There's nothing I want to collab on.
I want your dusty name next to mine.
I do not want your name next to mine, please. I hated group projects in school. It traumatized me.
Yo, I can't say I'm mad at that because I fuck with that idea. Like, I don't want to talk to none of y'all niggas. I don't want to collab with nobody.
It's just hard, man. Like it's too much because your name is all you have.
Right.
I can't risk it.
Right. Now, one person that we talk to a lot is Kevin Eastman, right? The co-creator of the Ninja Turtles, right?
Okay.
And he doesn't per se own like every property of the Ninja Turtles. So, he writes the comic books and stuff like that, but anything animation wise, movie wise, he doesn't have like a huge, if any, say so on. Now, is there any point in time where you would like sell these properties? Like you would be known as the creative, the creative mind, the person who thought of every character, line, quirk, whatever. Would you ever sell those things? So it was like, hey, we know you did this. Here's a lump sum of money. Let us do this.
Yeah, I've been thinking about like licensing out like my characters. The deal just has to be good. Like keep me at least the majority of the equity. Like I'll take less if that means I'm doing less work.
Right.
Like make sure it's good. Make sure I'm getting paid on time.
That's the thing.
Don't ask me for anything extra. Just make it happen. It's a lot of people that have kind of like approached me with oh, like, will you just take my project and I'll give you some ownership? I was like, I don't want to own your project, bro. Like,
y'all shit is trash.
like even if it's good, I wouldn't want that for another creative person. Like, well, let me give you all the rights to my project. I'm nobody. What if a big company comes and says like, oh man, I like what you've done with the project. Can I buy it from you? And you have no ownership of it.
Right.
Like, I think a lot of people are kind of signing those 360 deals right now to get exposure, and I just can't see myself doing it.
Yeah.
It has to mean a lot.
Yeah, that shit always confused me because when I talked to Kevin Eastman about it, I was like, I couldn't see myself like creating something like the Ninja Turtles and then giving it away. Where it was like, that was a cultural phenomenon for like a good 2 years. Like, you couldn't go anywhere without seeing a Ninja Turtles something. They made Ninja Turtles everything. Lunchboxes, gum, cereal, everything.
Yeah.
Like everything. They had clothes, pants, socks, with like whatever. And from like 89 to 91 or 90 to 92, something like that. It was just this craze all around the world. And for you to be like, hey, I'm going to give up my pet project and just let somebody else do what they want to it. They could bastardize it. They could ruin it. They could run this shit straight into the ground. But as long as I got paid, I don't give a fuck.
Shout out to George Lucas, nigga.
and luckily, so many people like love the Ninja Turtles that they've only been doing good versions of it.
I mean, like they have 1 or 2 hiccups every now and then, but they don't last long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you'll have like a bad movie one year, but then you come out with like a really good animated project the next year. And the fact that it's still here, like those types of projects like Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, SpongeBob, like all of those like really, really big projects.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I look at TENPINZ.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm about to do DreamCon next month. I'm thinking about like my booth space. It's so many opportunities for me to like really make this like a huge like intellectual property, like bowling merch. I'm already in with the pros, like the professional bowlers, making the official, like making TENPINZ the official manga of pro bowling in real life.
Right.
Along with like all the celebrities that like to bowl. They do like a celebrity tournament every year. Chris Paul is one of the people that we kind of had like a little conversation about getting Chris Paul involved. Mookie Betts from the LA Dodgers is a huge bowler, and he's read TENPINZ. Then we have like people at Nickelodeon. Like I'm working with, I've like talked to a lot of the Avatar cast because it's a little bit inspired by Avatar. So starting to like build all the bridges to make it a huge, like successful IP, something that's going to outlast anything that I've ever made. It's a lot of work.
It sounds like it. Now, on top of everything you do, everybody you talk to, all the things you're a part of, how many people come to you for consultations, and do you take consultations?
I do. I would like to take consultations.
Yeah, that's more money.
I would like to take consultations. People just don't feel like it's worth it. After approaching me, they just, I don't know, they back out. It's like, all right.
Do they ask the right question? Like, just sitting here talking to you, I'm like, yo, I just want to pick your brain, but I know you ain't for it. Like, without some type of dollar amount, like, hey, you got to cash at me something.
I've done consultations. I think like the most I've charged is like $100 for an hour. And that's nothing. That's nothing, right? That's nothing. And then people will be like, oh, I'm not paying that. You approached me.
You came to me. I'm good. I don't need your help.
I just said $100 so I get something out of it. But like, I don't know, man. It's a lot of people that kind of just want the blueprint, and it's not a blueprint type of thing. It's a experimentation. Like you have to do tests, and you have to be willing to like lose a lot to win a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of that. Like I could have put all my money in the TENPINZ and it flopped.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I spent around almost $10,000 just getting the first volume, like books, formatting, pages, concept art. Like I'm getting the uniforms done for DreamCon. Like I'm gonna have the first like cosplays.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of people that aren't willing to risk losing anything. It's like you kind of have to lose to know what to fix.
Right. I'll be trying to tell these niggas, man.
Man, fuck out of here, nigga.
Yeah, we gotta go here. We gotta do this, man. Fuck them jobs, man. Go into business for ourselves.
Hey, it's like that sometimes.
Now, when's the last time you worked a 9-to-5 job? If ever.
2000. Oh, what year was that?
That far.
Like 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Worked for like maybe a year. Yeah.
10 years ago. Jeez.
And before that, probably 2009.
Mm.
Dang.
So you've been self-sufficient for 10 years, doing this on your own, just making money from your ideas, putting them out, and then doing the same song or dance over and over again, and it just keeps working.
I'm not gonna say it keeps working. I definitely
Not keeps working, but you know,
I definitely had to like adapt a lot.
Yeah.
I think if it wasn't for me knowing like when to kind of switch lanes, I would probably be screwed. Because a lot of the stuff that I used to do just wouldn't be enough for now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like almost a decade of doing this. I mean, I've applied to jobs. I just don't get callbacks.
Really?
I don't get callbacks. I don't get interviews. Nothing.
Like, what are you applying for? They have to be artistic, right?
Art director positions, marketing positions, nothing. In 10 years.
Who does your resume? Like you?
I got a professional resume done.
Yeah, that's wild.
And I don't get callbacks. I did have an opportunity last year for creative director at Crunchyroll.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were about to give me that job, but I don't know. They were merging and something kind of fell through. But
with Sony,
they merged with I know they merged with Sony and they absorbed Funimation.
Oh yeah.
So like a lot of those jobs were coming in. And I remember like a lot of people were kind of getting let go and they're building new jobs out and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's good to know that I could have gotten that position. And that's kind of what kept me going with my own things. Like, well, if they want me for creative director, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm. Now, your former partner isn't someone that can blackball you, right?
He's tried. Yeah. Okay. He played professional basketball.
Oh, retired?
Yeah. I think he plays overseas now.
Okay.
Dwight Howard?
Nah. I think I might know who he is.
His name is Johnny O'Brien. He owns North Caesar.
Yes, that's what because I remember we talked. All right, yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think he plays for the Shanghai Sharks now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was talking to Jax not too long ago, and she was talking about homie. So I was like, yeah. So yeah, that's that. Fuck him. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I guess my last thing is like we mentioned, the long-lasting properties, your Ninja Turtles, your stuff like Scooby-Doo's and SpongeBob and whatever. Do you think you have one of those in you? Like, do you have that in the tank and just waiting on your master plan to come to fruition?
I think TENPINZ will definitely be the one. My goal, like a lot of people are expecting me to like get it picked up by an anime studio.
Mm.
I would really like to see it on Nickelodeon. Like
that would be fire.
Same team as Avatar.
Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
Like going into toys, going into more like books, going into the animation. There's so many things I want to do. My ultimate goal for TENPINZ, I kind of already roadmapped this, but I want to make my own TENPINZ bowling alley. Like a real bowling alley. You bowl, you get the effects on the floor, like water, fire, whatever you pick. Have it fully themed out. You could buy the jerseys in the shop. You could get like the different balls, the different bags, making my own bowling shoes. A lot of stuff. I kind of like, I put a lot of thought into like how far I want to take it.
Sounds amazing. And I love the foresight. I wish you liked people, man. I want to talk to you more.
I don't think I don't like people. I just think I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty open to talking to people. I think people see me and get kind of intimidated a little bit, thinking like, oh, you're not gonna have the time to talk to me. You're probably too good to talk to me. But I have people message me all the time, like, "Oh my god, you actually responded."
Same shit I said.
It's like
I didn't know he was gonna respond, especially that quick. I was like, hell, this kind of dope.
I literally see every single message that comes to my phone. Yeah,
I know, because you don't trust nobody else with shit, so I know it's you.
Yeah, I see every single message that comes to my phone, and I respond to all of them.
Yeah, you and Bobby. When I first hit y'all up, I was like, "Oh shit, they actually responded. Look at that."
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, man, I don't have anything else. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about that you want to discuss? Anything you got coming up that I may have missed? Just anything in the world you want to promote your books? You know, what's going on with Namiwear next, or anything you got in your mind that you just want to let out right now? Any podcast takes you want to get out?
Okay. So new Namiwear is up. There's no more anime inspired streetwear that I don't own. We got the plushies up, just dropped the new merch. Books are up, and we are getting ready to drop the manga club subscription. So basically that's going to fund new chapters every other month for TENPINZ and Soul Search, so we can continue growing these properties. And I hope by this time next year, I have a third manga out, like a brand new manga.
You already have the idea for it?
Yeah, it's called The Hater is King, and it's going to be a slice of life about a kid whose only goal is to be the biggest hater in the world, but everybody likes him and his personality.
That's fine.
Now, also another thing, one last thing. Do you aim to, I guess, for lack of a better term, I guess, put more color in the anime space, because all your characters are POC? Like, is that your aim? Is that something that you want to do? Like, do you do that consciously, or do you be like, nah, I need my niggas in here?
I do it with purpose, because I know that there is no real space for us. And if I were to go get a deal from Viz Media to make a brand new book, they wouldn't accept something like that. But I can build whatever I want with my own time and get it to that point where somebody wants to purchase it. And now you're forced to put out the representation that I put together. Like, it's not really my angle. Like, yeah, they're black characters, but the story is not about them. Like, the pitch isn't like they're black characters.
It's not black centric. It's just they just so happen to be black.
Yeah, and that's how I want to make all of my That's how I want to make all of my stories. Like this nigga's doing stuff.
We can do everything y'all can do. We just
multifaceted.
We can do the same thing.
Yeah.
We don't gotta be from Africa. We don't gotta be,
Was that
we
a
don't
shot?
have,
I mean, if you look at animes, like the character is always from Africa if he's black. Yeah, like straight from Africa.
It doesn't have to be from Africa. It doesn't have to be a hood story. I don't know why people want to go those two routes every time, which is why I did bowling. It's like black people bowl all the time.
Niggas bowl.
Right.
That's like a family reunion thing.
Yeah.
Like it's really like a pastime for black people that is not talked about.
Right.
And now people are seeing it. They're like, yo, like I go bowling all the time. Like I keep meeting people like over and over, like, yo, I've been bowling for like 5 years. Nobody had ever talked about bowling before, but they also like anime.
Right.
So it's been different.
Yeah, man. Definitely gotta have you back. I got more I want to pick your brain about if that's cool with you.
Oh yeah, I'm chilling, man. As much as I say I'm working, I make my schedule. I'm chilling.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever you can make time for us, man, let me know. So we got the rebrand of Namiwear. Fuck everybody else. I'm doing my own shit. If it ain't me, it ain't getting done. We got Soul Search. That's on Amazon. We got TENPINZ. That's on Amazon right now. Go pick that up. It's no longer $1, so y'all got to pay like actual retail price for that now. We voice acting. We got many more ideas. We doing music. We just doing content. We just doing whatever come to our head, and we ain't letting shit stop us. I like this motherfucker's motto. We getting it done. That's it.
Just doing everything.
Doing everything. Dominic, thank you. Social media, where are you at?
All my pages are at Namiwear.
Namiwear, so that's Twitch, Instagram, Reddit, YouTube, Black Planet, all that.
Yeah.
All right. Cool, man. Appreciate you for coming by the dojo, man. I will be in touch. I do have some things to ask you. So yeah, man, appreciate your time and your efforts, and just thank you for, I guess, creating what you have created for, you know, people like us, and just being a force to be reckoned with. Like, I feel like we're gonna hear your name a lot in the next few years, where just something about your tenacity and like what you're doing is just real inspiring. It's like a breath of fresh air, kind of, because you don't meet people like you too often. So I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
No doubt, man. Have a good one, man.
All right, man.
Peace.